Back, everybody. Episode 54 of the Big Easy Blitz podcast. And this is the first week of the football season that we can say that our two teams lost. LSU suffered their first loss this season against the Ole Miss Rebels, and obviously the Saints lost to the Buffalo Bills. Nobody was expecting that. Um, but yeah, Brock, how we feeling?
Pretty horrible. This was one of the worst weekends of football in my recent memory. Because I went down to New Orleans to watch our alma mater play against our biggest rival,
Mhm.
Jesuit Brother Martin, and lost on a game-winning field goal. And then
I didn't even think about that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
and then that rolled into LSU. The embarrassing offensive performance that they put out, but they still did fight. Um, that's a little foreshadowing for what's going to come in this episode. And then obviously the Saints, that was actually the best part. They lost, but
yeah,
they played really well.
yeah,
So yeah, just a rough weekend of sports.
really well for the Saints.
Yeah, and and Alabama won. I mean, if you're an LSU fan, this is probably the worst weekend in a while. But with that, we'll just get into it. We're gonna start with the Saints briefly, and then we're gonna just this is gonna be a LSU pod. I'm just gonna if you don't like us talking LSU, I don't know why you're watching. But this is all LSU pretty much. So let's just start.
I'll go ahead and do
Yeah,
more of the Saints speak, and then you can go
yeah.
obviously into the LSU Tigers. But so the Saints they covered against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, we got that going for us.
Oh my God.
It was probably the biggest line of the year, and it probably will wind up being the biggest line of the year.
Yeah.
But the Saints had many opportunities to jump in front against this team, and aside from that first drive they kind of they didn't let the Bills just walk all over them.
No,
Like after the
the first
first
two
drive,
drives.
yeah, after okay, first two drives, but after the first two drives, they really kind of settled in. We had a few sacks. Jonas Sanker played really well. Shout out
He,
Jonas Sanker.
yeah.
We might have found a dime in the rough with him.
Mhm.
He was like what a sixth or seventh round pick? No pun intended.
I think he was a back half of the draft.
Back
That's
half of the
that's
draft.
awesome. I don't know.
Okay, so who knows? Maybe Mickey Loomis actually did hit on a draft
He's
pick.
fifth rounder from up. Whatever. It doesn't
Okay, it
matter.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Um, Running game. In Kendry Miller's post game interview, he said that they switched up the run scheme a little bit, and it was evident
Yeah.
because they ran the ball very efficiently, especially Kendry Miller. I mean, obviously Alvin Kamara had himself a decent game, but Kendry Miller, this was his career game, I'd say so far.
100%. 100%.
That was a really nice run he had on the touchdown. Um, and then Brock, I'll just go
Oh,
ahead.
my bad. Jonas Singh was a third round pick.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
So
Wow, bro. Oh, all right. Never
put a
mind.
hand up on that.
Yeah.
But still, maybe Mickey hit on a draft pick there. I mean, it seems like he hadn't hit on a draft pick since maybe Chris Olave. And I mean, the jury's still out there. But Brock, what are we thinking about Spencer
Yeah.
Rattler's performance?
Actually, funny you said that. Shout out to Hold the Mayo. I was watching his post game pod yesterday, and he said something that was quite funny. He said, how did we get the one Ohio State receiver that didn't hit?"
I mean,
He's okay. He's good. He's not a wide receiver one. I don't know
yeah,
when he's gonna take. Yeah, he's not a wide
yeah,
receiver one.
he's a above average wide
Yeah,
receiver though.
he'd be an elite wide receiver too.
Mhm.
That's why we need to go draft Jeremiah Smith in 2027.
You bring in another
Oh my
Ohio
God.
State guy.
Hey, whatever. But back to the Saints. Connor didn't watch much of the game. Not because he's not a fan. He's just technically
I bleed black and
yeah.
gold. God
He
damn
was
it!
just
But
on the bus ride.
I was in Knoxville,
Yeah.
Tennessee, as
Yep.
I
Yep.
said,
Yep. Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
funny enough, the game that I guess the local
Yeah.
team from where I was the Atlanta Falcons.
Huh.
So it wasn't the Saints,
Who they
which
play this? Oh,
they played
Commanders.
the Commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did they
uh,
win that game? I don't even know.
the Falcons won.
Okay. Well,
So that was kind of when I turned on YouTube TV to try to watch it on my phone. I was heartbroken.
yeah.
I was like, no way, we're getting the Falcons game and not the Saints game. But then I put two and two together, and it made sense. But I was following it on ESPN. So go ahead and tell me how Rattler did. What do you
Um,
think?
Rattler looked way more competent and poised in the pocket. He used his legs, which was extremely efficient.
He was
Um,
decisive with his leg.
very, very much.
He said he wanted to make that a
And
point,
that was no,
and
yeah.
it was clear.
I want to give a huge shout out to the O line. As much as they got last week, they played outstanding this week. And
This was
then
the first full week they had. But
Yeah,
this was the first week we actually had
and
all
and then
11.
Cesar Breeze went down. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. So,
And but Torricelli Simpkins played very well.
mhm.
Um, where was I? Oh, another thing I wanted that they did well with penalties, even though they had limited penalties, but the ones they did had came in crucial times, like the end of the game when they decided to try and block the punt and almost took out the punter's knee, like completely, um, and ultimately lost the game. Right, I mean, I don't know if we would have came back and won, but that you had a chance and
You just
the Bills just
completely
ran it
just
out.
took the ball out of Rattler's
Yeah,
hands.
who
Like,
had been playing very well.
I don't understand that. I mean, I understand you're trying to go make a play, but at a pivotal point in the game like that, I don't think you can afford to do
Yeah,
that,
no,
to take that risk.
no,
And
but
obviously it didn't pay off because it's the Saints.
yeah, but in all seriousness, and that's not what I was trying to say. Nonetheless, they played well. It looks good going into week 5 win. They're playing the Giants, who don't have elite neighbors.
Yeah,
Jackson Dart, a rookie quarterback, looked very good in his first game, but
he did look good.
we'll see. It should be as weird as this sounds. Should be a good game
Yeah,
if
I mean,
both teams play like they did this week. Excuse me. Ooh, ooh. There we go.
yeah,
Yeah. We'll see. Coming up week 5, I'm sure it's gonna be a noon kickoff at home, right? Or
yeah, I think
yeah.
it's at home
I
because
think we play the Giants at home every year. Just like
yeah,
we play at the Rams every year. But who knows? Will they be 0-5 or 1-4? I don't think it really matters. But
it doesn't matter, and I'm okay with either. To
yeah,
be honest with you, it'd be great to see the Saints win, but if they lose and put up another good fight, and it's an entertaining game,
hmm
that's a win in my book. Because I
yeah.
mean, we're not going anywhere this season.
No, I mean, how down bad do Saints fans look celebrating a loss right now? But
Embrace the tank,
whatever.
boys.
Speaking of loss, Saturday afternoon was awful. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Um, there are plenty of people to blame, not just Garrett Nussmeier, who's getting the most flack right now. I really I talked to you about this last night. I don't understand why he's getting so much hate. Now, he wasn't a highly recruited or recruit coming out of high school. He threw for 4,000 yards last year, so we know he can do it. He is struggling this year, whether it be lack of run game, decision making, just play calling in general,
Mentally,
his O line, injury, mental, all of it. We don't know, but we have seen him do it. So that's why I'm still high on him. A lot of people just want to trash him just because he's making rough plays. Look around the landscape of college football. Who's playing good? What quarterback is playing good?
well said.
Even the Ole Miss quarterback with whatever his name is, Trinidad Chambliss. He did play good, like passing wise. He just used his legs more, which is kind of that's what we need in modern college football.
He made some very nice
There were some
passes.
very good play, yes, but I mean, like the game, the pass to seal the game, simple pass for him. That's not good. There were a couple nice passes. You're
You
right.
got to tip your cap to Lane
Yeah,
Kiffin. I mean,
yeah,
like, as painful as that is for LSU fans, you have to. I
yeah.
mean, like, he's great. He's a great offensive mind, and
He
I think
is.
he made it pretty easy for Trinidad.
Yeah. Um, and everyone wants to trash LSU's defense right now. I'm seeing that a lot. You can't.
What?
Yeah. Yes. You'd be surprised.
Only 24 points.
That's what I'm saying. Only 24 when they're on the field
90%.
80% of the
Yeah.
game. Like you can't. Not defense isn't going to go stop them every single drive when you're on the field 80% of the time. And that's due to LSU's lack of offense right now. And it's frustrating because of how good this team is talent wise. That they're wasting a generational defense, if you want to call it that, who gave up no more than 10 points in the first 4 weeks of the season, which hadn't been done since like 2007, I think it said. Um, it's just frustrating. The offense play calling. I mean, there's nothing good to say about the offense right now. They haven't gotten a first down on our opening drive yet all season.
That is the craziest stat.
Yeah,
Brock read that to me last night. That is unbelievable.
yeah.
That's just setting your defense up for failure.
hmm
Now they've kind of gotten away with it because they hadn't played any good offenses quite yet.
hmm
I mean, Clemson's offense doesn't even look. They look terrible.
Yeah,
And obviously from DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions against LSU. Ole Miss's offense is legit,
we
and
held them under 24 points.
yeah, and if but what I'm saying is, if your offense is just not giving you any time to like catch your breath or just rest,
Yeah.
like naturally, like human fatigue is going to set in.
hmm
So I
Yeah.
the more shots the offense has, the more likely they are to score. And they had a lot more shots than LSU.
Yes, yes. It felt like Ole Miss was on the field the entire second half. And the first half, LSU was I'll say the first quarter, LSU dominated Ole Miss. Let's just put it there. You get the first time I've seen LSU not get the ball first in probably since Brian Kelly started. They got to stop, just like I mean this defense has done all year. The offense comes out and they go down the field and score. No, sorry, that was the second drive. I'm sure they went 3-0 on the first drive.
They did.
Of course they did. But still, defense bowed their head. They got another stop, and then LSU got the ball, went down the field. You saw the deep ball to Xavier Thomas. We know it's in there. We know it's in there from us and the receivers. It's just I don't know why Joe Sloan's not calling it more. It's plain and simple. I'm tired of the swing passes that get 3 yards max. I don't know why we keep doing that. They want to call an extension of the run game. Uh, Just start calling run plays to try and get more like it's just so frustrating seeing a team try to pass the ball so much when they can't do it because here's what I'm trying to say. Ole Miss was bringing 3 people, rushing 3 people on the quarterback, and they were still getting home to Garrett Nussmeier, making them hurt. That is awful on the O line's part, but that is also awful on the play calling part. Why are you not running the ball against a 3-man front? And they tried to, and they could not do it, and then they just abandoned it. I don't know why they like just I would make Ole Miss respect your run game. So what quarterback's going to do good when you have 3 people rushing and 8 people dropping? That's 8 people guarding four,
Five.
4, 5, maybe. That no quarterback's going to look good with that, and it's
I'm
just
glad you
frustrating.
brought that up.
So
Because, I mean, I say it every single week on the preview that you have to not make it Garrett Nussmeier versus the Ole Miss Rebels. You can't make it Garrett Nussmeier versus the other team.
mhm.
You have to make it LSU, all 11 LSU players, offensive players versus their defense. If you keep relying on Garrett Nussmeier like this, you're going to just keep losing like you did against Ole Miss, against these good teams. You have to be two-dimensional. You can't be one-dimensional. And that one dimension isn't even working.
Not at
The
all.
the air raid isn't even air raiding.
Yeah,
It's
well said.
I don't know. LSU's they have to be more diverse with the play calling. You have to commit to establishing a run game. You can't give it 5 rush attempts and then it doesn't work and then just start throwing it. And you're not
You
even like doing creative
mhm.
route concepts. It's just little swing routes, like you said.
And you saw at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, when they started running the ball with Harlem Berry. Now Ole Miss might have taken their foot off the gas a little
They
bit,
probably did a little bit.
but you saw him getting 5, 6 yards of carry, and then ultimately scored. And then the 2-point conversion. One of the worst play calls I've ever seen in my life. Can we just say that?
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't
Take
know,
that play out of the playbook, throw it as far away as you can.
literally. Never, never, never ever call that again. That was the worst play call I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, can
Um,
I ask you something?
yeah, please.
Why do you think these last 2 years it has been such a struggle for LSU to run the ball?
Okay. I think genuinely it's because of uh Jaden Daniels kind of covered up the struggle to run the ball with
So
his
you think it's
legs.
been there? You
Yes,
think it's been there
I think the running game has been terrible for a while. It's
for
just
multiple years?
Jaden Daniels has covered that up, and he did cover that up.
Because it makes no sense why a school like LSU, who gets all these big old line recruits, who has the premier athletes, and they cannot run the ball
At all.
They can't run the ball against Louisiana Tech. They struggle to run the ball against Florida.
Hmm.
They cannot run the ball against Ole Miss. Clemson, I mean, Caden Durham had that one very big run at the beginning of the game and then seemingly nothing else.
No.
That makes no sense to me. It
Mhm.
makes no sense how one of the biggest football programs in the country has struggled to run the ball so mightily.
It's
They cannot do it.
it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. So looking at LSU's schedule ahead, you needed to get this one because you got an absolute gauntlet coming. You got South Carolina at home, coming off a bye. I think they do win that game. I don't think South Carolina's a very good team. Their front seven is very good, which terrifies me because LSU could not block a 3-man front. You got Dylan Stewart coming off the edge, and if you can't block 3 people from Ole Miss, who Ole Miss, by the way, is an awful defense. Let's just put that. They are not a good defense. LSU's offense just isn't good. Ole Miss, who for those who are probably calling my bluff right now, you Ole Miss fans, who I'm not even gonna get into because I can't stand Ole Miss. You might say, "Oh, we have a terrible defense, but we just shut y'all down." Arkansas had 500 yards against Ole Miss. For those who don't know,
What?
Arkansas lost 56-13 this week against Notre Dame. That just shows how bad Ole Miss's offense is or defense is. But anyway,
That, but that like makes zero sense. Why did LSU get shut down then?
and hold on, I'm gonna pivot real quick because I'm pretty sure Arkansas ran all over Ole Miss. Ole Miss's run defense is awful. Let me look at the box. Oh,
So
Tulane ran for like 100. Hold on, just Tulane who lost 45-10 to Ole Miss had 178 rushing yards against Ole Miss. Arkansas, who we saw how bad they are, had 220 yards rushing against Ole Miss. LSU had who's better than both of those
55.
teams? Who's better than both of those teams? 59 rushing yards.
59?
59 rushing yards. Now that's because Nussmeier got sacked. That's sack adjusted. But 66 rushing yards.
The other games were sack adjusted too?
That's true. Harlem Berry was the leading rusher with 7 of for 22.
No, I mean, to be fair, Taylor Green does use his legs a little more
Yeah.
than Nussmeier, like a lot more than Nussmeier, but
Yeah.
still
Thank
a
you for
200-yard difference.
thank you for mentioning that. For those of you who are preaching that Michael Van Buren needs to come in for Garrett Nussmeier. What is wrong with you? Like genuinely, what is wrong with you? Garrett Nussmeier is a fifth-year senior quarterback who threw for 4,000 yards. If they wanted Michael Van Buren to play, Garrett Nussmeier would not have come back this year.
Mm.
Plain and simple. Michael Van Buren played at Mississippi State last year as a freshman and threw as many picks as he did in touchdowns. Michael Van Buren played good against Southeastern. Everybody, Southeastern. He's not a. It's insane that I have to say that Michael Van Buren is getting hyped to come in against Ole Miss.
In a close game.
Yeah, just what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop.
I can I say like one more
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
before you kind of get into the
yeah.
last thing. Okay, so just to kind of wrap this up before we get into this last segment of this pod. Um it's just very confusing how LSU's offense is struggling so bad this year. After, like Brock said, Garrett Nussmeier threw for over 4,000 yards last year. It's very confusing how their run game is non-existent. It's not even like it's there. It's just completely non-existent.
Yeah.
Um, against a three-man front,
Hmm.
obviously, it's going to be harder on the quarterback when you have 8 people dropping into coverage.
Yeah.
Um, and the one thing I'm going to leave you with is you have to keep trying to make it easier on us. I've said it literally It's all I say. That's all I've been saying this whole year. But it's true because he can't be. No collegiate quarterback can beat 8 people dropping back with no run game.
Hmm.
It's just a fact of life. Like, that cannot happen. So, Brock, do you want to kind of transition into this
Yeah.
last thing?
Well, before that, this now okay. I'm gonna be honest. I did not have LSU going 12-0. I had them losing one or two of the games between Ole Miss, Bama, and Oklahoma. So this isn't a very big surprise seeing them lose, just the way they lost. And then one last thing before we get into my last thing I want to talk about. The schedule ahead, you got South Carolina, like we said, who, by the way, is a revenge game for them. And they get to come to your stadium, which is a big plus for us, for LSU. But still going to be a very tough game. Then you got Vanderbilt, who is 16th in the country right
God
now,
only knows that game's
at Vanderbilt too. And right now it looks like it's a noon kickoff, which is atrocious. That is horrible. That's a extreme advantage to Vanderbilt, I think.
100%.
And then after Vanderbilt, if you somehow get past those two, you got a top 6 team in the country coming to LSU and A&M, who I'm gonna be honest, I think A&M is not as good as their ranking. But if in all seriousness, LSU doesn't look as good as 13 right now. So we'll see about that. And then you got Bama in Bama. So the next 4 weeks are pivotal. You need to find a way to go 3-1. Actually, the rest of the way you can only play one more game. You can only lose one more.
Yeah.
Unless something else happens. You can only lose one more game. But that's it. And
They
then
got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out.
yeah. Last thing. I'm gonna go on a different rant. Who
I'll just sit
that
here and look pretty.
Yeah, that y'all are not gonna expect. So there's a guy who by the name of Stephen Willis who runs Locked On Ole Miss. And Stephen Willis, you are an absolute joke. Just gonna start with that. Um This man runs Locked On Ole Miss. I was scrolling the internet Saturday night after the game, winding down to go to bed, looking up Locked On LSU because I watched that a lot, and my TV suggested Locked On Ole Miss. So I was like, okay, let me go take a look at this. And I click on it and I watch it to see what they're talking about right now. And this guy, who is the most arrogant human being the most arrogant human being I've ever met, and the epitome of an Ole Miss fan, gets on there and immediately starts with the corn dogs need to take their $18 million refund. Stephen Wills, your team, who has done nothing ever, Ole Miss has done nothing ever, did the exact same thing last year, spent $20 million on a roster, and went 9-3 and lost to three terrible football teams. LSU this year spent $18 million, dominated a Clemson team who we thought was really good, a top five Clemson team, was 4-0 through the first 4 weeks, and then played y'all. And the exact same thing happened this year that happened last year. LSU was the inferior team to Ole Miss, and LSU got them at home and beat them. The same thing happened this year. Ole Miss is the inferior team, and they beat them. Ole Miss is not going anywhere this year. I promise you that. Ole Miss is not going anywhere. Their defense is atrocious. And then Stephen Willis goes on to say that Ole Miss dominated LSU. I want everybody to look at me, look somebody in the eye right now and tell them, in what way did Ole Miss dominate LSU in this game? Please. Penalties was Ole Miss actually had way more than LSU and somehow still won the game. The defense did not get torched. They gave up what should have been 10 points in the first half if it wasn't for a pick by Nussmeier. And then in the second half, gave up 7 points. 7 points. The amount of time that Ole Miss was on the field, they gave up 7 points. The defense did not get dominated. They were gassed because they were on the field every time, like majority of the game.
And they still were
Very good.
competent. Yeah.
Very, very good. They couldn't guard the tight end, which I can't explain that one. Um,
That's Lane Kiffin.
yeah,
That's Lane Kiffin.
yeah, 100%. And this guy, Stephen Willis, kept reiterating that an $18 million roster, and you might want to refund that. The nerve this guy has after watching his team do the same thing last year, and the same thing happened last year when good old mighty Jackson Dart was supposed to be the promised land, the chosen one, and went 9-3 and cried when he played Florida because he threw two interceptions. The promised land, the chosen one, whatever I'm trying to say. Come on. And then, oh, there's more. Stephen Willis goes on to say that the two top dogs in the SEC right now are Ole Miss and Missouri. Stephen Willis, yeah, I can see, yeah. You are an absolute joke. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fan talking about media. You're not a media person. And I'm not going to, we're not media people. Right now, we're fans. Let's just be honest.
Currently.
We have a fan like look. But you, who mentioned that you worked on Ole Miss's staff, there's probably a reason you don't work there anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Um, well, I guess that's all we have. Tough week for us. That clip could end up very poorly.
I'm
But
putting a picture of Stephen Willis's face on it, and I hope he sees it.
um,
And I never want to work for Stephen Willis ever. I don't care if he offers me a six-figure job.
I
Steve
don't
Willis,
think he will.
go to that. No.
Um,
There's a kid-friendly show
yeah, it's a
right
kid-friendly
now.
show. As Brock said, currently we are fans. One day we'll get into the media um aspect of things. Obviously the Tigers and the Saints will never leave our hearts. Um, that's all I got. Hopefully our teams can bounce back. Hopefully the Saints can keep executing the tank perfectly, and hopefully LSU figures their offense out. Because if they don't, then $18 million will go to waste. So that's all I gotta say. Um, what you got, Brad?
That's it. Come back Wednesday, episode 55.
Yep. Tell a friend, like, follow, subscribe, all four socials: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. See y'all later. Peace.